Hello and welcome to this MaxMSP tutorial on how to build a finger drum kit. So by that I mean we're going to be using the keys on the keyboard to trigger some sound files, some drum hits. I'll upload those samples as well so you've got some to work with. It's a dead simple patch, it's only going to take a few minutes to build, so it's a good beginner patch, one of those first patches you make when you get into Max probably. I'm going to assume that you've got some very basic Max skills, so just those first few steps in terms of understanding what the graphical programming environment is and how to add objects, that sort of thing. But I will explain everything as I go along. More advanced videos I won't be doing this so much, so anyway, it will be easy and fun. So Max new patcher, and the main object that this patch revolves around in terms of generating sound is called sfplay. So enter for a new object and sfplay tilde. As the description says, this object plays a sound file from the disk. So it does lots of other funky things, but the easiest way of using this object is we can ask it to open a sound file, and then we can ask it to play that sound file from beginning to end. So opening a sound file, you basically need to send it an open message. So with M for a message box, and type in open, connect them up. If I lock up the patch and click open now, it sends message open to sfplay, and it asks us what sample we want to load in. So that's one way of doing it. However, if I've got 8 or 16 of these in my patch, I don't want to have to click on 16 different open messages and select my samples individually for each sfplay every time. That's going to take ages, and it's not particularly good for the user. So rather than doing that, I'm going to use a really cool object called loadMess. loadMess is a way of helping you to sort of initialize your patch when it starts up. So when the patch is loaded, it will output a predefined message through its outlet. So we want to send the message open to sfplay, so we do loadMess and set its argument as open, but also we can specify a specific sound file as well. So my first one's called hit1.wav. So if I connect that up to sfplay, when the patch loads, sfplay will open hit1.wav. Nice and easy. Now in terms of playing the sound back, we just need to send sfplay the number 1, and it interprets that as play the current sound file back from beginning to end. So we'll do that with a message box. Pop a 1 in there, and that's we're nearly good to go. So I've got 4 sounds. I'm just going to duplicate these. Nice handy shortcut. I'm on Mac, not sure if it works on Windows, but if you select what you want to duplicate, hold Alt and then click and drag. Yeah, saves you loads of time. So I'm just going to change these name of these samples, so we've got all 4 in there. And I'm not going to bother with any volume changing for now. Easy DAC for our sound out. Hopefully you've got your sound card settings set to the correct output. Now before I test this, I need to save it in the same folder as my samples, so that when sfplay receives these messages, it can find the samples because it's going to be looking in the same folder as the patch. So I'm going to go to File, Save As, and save it in that samples folder. I'm going to call it Finger Drums, and I'm just going to close it and open it back up to make sure that this works. So with any luck now, these samples should be loaded in. My audio is on, my speakers are turned up, so ace. So that's all working. So that's half the patch done already. All we need to do now is link some keys on the keyboard to these message boxes that we're using to trigger the sound. So a rather aptly named object for this is called key. Key is an object that listens to your computer keyboard and outputs information about it. The first output is the one we're going to be using, and as it says there, that outputs the ASCII or ASCII code of the key that's being pressed on the keyboard. So every key on your keyboard has an ASCII code assigned to it, and it differs between capital letters and lowercase letters, as well as the symbols above your number keys and that sort of thing. So everything on your keyboard's got a different code, and that just comes out as a number. So if I connect up a number box like that, lock up the patch and start pressing keys, you'll see different numbers appearing. So we can use that to say, for example, if I press the A key, that's 97. So now in my max patch I can put in an object that looks out for 97 and triggers this sample if it finds it. So that's what we're going to do. So first of all, I'm going to decide what keys I want. So yeah, let's go for A, S, K and L. And then the object we use to look out for those is called cell, short for select. And we just need to tell it what numbers we're looking for. So A was 97. I think then we had, what was it, 115, 107, 108. So pop those in. 5, 107, 108, so with spaces in between. And it creates an output for each one of these arguments. So the first output will receive, will send out a bang if cell receives a 97. The second output will output a bang if cell receives 115, and so on. So I'm just going to come straight out of key into select. These other inputs are for changing the arguments, which can be quite handy. So I just need to connect up these first 4 outlets to my message boxes that trigger the samples. The last output will output any number that comes into cell that doesn't match any of the arguments. It's kind of like a bypass or through pass. And now we should be good to go. So I'm going to press the A key, that triggers my kick drum, S for the hi-hat, snare on L. So this is going to take me some time to get used to. But it's a great patch for having fun. You can expand on it loads. So yeah, nice and simple. Hope you've learnt a few new objects there and start to tidy this up a little bit. I'm going to save all this and the samples and upload it for you guys. Hope you've enjoyed, and see you again.